Hi, if you're watching this video, you are likely to make your own riding skirt and you're wondering how to do it. In this video, I'm explaining to you how to make model 1. It's a full circle skirt and you can read more about it on the blog. I explained on the blog how to make your own pattern, and I put the measurements that I'm using in the blog and my own measurements on a piece of paper, so I don't have to memorize it. You're making a full circle skirt. That means that we're going to make a pattern for a quarter of the full circle, so a quarter of a circle, and you're going to use the fabric fold to make 1/2 out of one piece of fabric. That makes that you only have a seam in the rear, in the mid back of your skirt, and not on the sides. How to measure yourself is you need to measure yourself on top of your riding clothes, because you're going to use the skirt on top of your clothes when it's cold outside. It's a wrap skirt, so you can have a little more or less room if you make it a little bigger or smaller. I have on the blog, in the calculation, I use 15 centimeters overlay for the wrap. If you would like to have a bigger overlay, then you need to use more. So in the calculation, I'm using 65 centimeters as a waist band. I'm adding 15 centimeters to that for the overlay on the wrap in the front, and that brings you to 80 centimeters. And then you need to use this corner here, as it's a 90-degree corner. Of course, this is my pattern paper. I've been cutting on it before, so what I did, I folded this along these lines, so to be sure that this is actually a 90-degree angle. Then I used the formula to measure a radius, and that is, the radius is 80. That's the full surrounding of the circle, the full measurement of your waist, and the additional 15 centimeters is 80 centimeters for the full circle. So the radius is 80 divided by 2p, and 2p is 2 times 3.14, so that's 6.28 approximately, but you don't have to use all the numbers behind the comma. So 80 divided by 6.28 comes to a measurement of 12.74 centimeters. So you measure from this corner to here, like this, 12.7 centimeters. You do that on that side too, and then on the middle you draft a nice round line that meets all the dots, and that's your waist size. Then from the waist you are measuring the length of the skirt. The length of the skirt should be the waist till the ankle bone, so till there, and you measure that while standing. I can't do that in the video now because you won't be seeing me. You can see that if I do that on this paper right now, that I need to, in the calculation on the blog, I use 100 centimeters, so I would end up here, so I need to cut some paper and tape it to this part. Same for my own measurements, because I'm a bit bigger than 65 in my waist. I have a waist of 88. I add another 15 centimeters to that For the overlay, that's 103, then I divided the radius. So that's 103 divided by 6.28 is 16 centimeters and 4 millimeters. So that's what I measured from that corner to this blue line. And from this blue line I measured, you can see it here because I go out of the paper as well, from the blue line to here is 110 centimeters because my length from my waist till the ankle bone is 110. I've got long legs. So also for my own pattern I need to add some paper here, tape it to it and then cut it out. What you need to know for the fabric is that this is a quarter of your pattern, so you need to fold the fabric. No, you need to unfold the fabric. Fabric is all, most of the time it's folded onto the board on the roll, and you have to unfold that and then fold it in the length, or from the length, in the width. Did I say it correctly? Well, if this paper represents your fabric, it's folded in half like that, then you unfold it and you fold it like this until you have the right width for your pattern. You attach the pattern to your fabric and you cut it. When you cut it, you have to take a seam in account. Don't cut the fold side, just cut the rest and take a seam. Depending on how thick your fabric is, I would say 3 centimeters. If you make for instance, a cotton or linen dress or a skirt, then it's a centimeter and a half should be enough. 3 centimeters if it's thicker fabric. If you like a big seam, then you can use up to 7 or 10 centimeters as additional fabric to make that seam. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you can put some comments on the blog and I'm happy to help you out. So, I would always suggest you to, when you've made a pattern for yourself, to write on the pattern what you've made. So in future reference you know what it is. So I'm going to write down that it is a riding skirt and model 1, and it's a waist of 88 centimeters, and it's made for me, and it's Linda. And on length, I'm writing this in Dutch, the length is 110 centimeters. Because then in the future I know what this is and what I use it for. Another important thing is that I'm going to write over here. I'm going to point in this direction. No, that's not true. It's in that direction. But this is the fold of the fabric. And very often this is also the straight line of the threading, but in this case it's this one, because you're refolding fabric. So this is the, what we call in Dutch, recht van draad. So this is it. A quarter of the skirt and a nice pattern. If you like the riding skirt that Klesarven makes, they actually have a shorter front than a back. If you like to make something like that, then double this pattern and make the front shorter, and then make a nice how do you say that, draft, so it's rounding up to a shorter side. But then you need to have make the pattern bigger, like twice as big, because one side is shorter than the other. This one goes, this one is a symmetrical skirt on all sides. It's the same length on all sides. If you want it shorter on the front, then you need to draft a new pattern with a shorter front side. Alright, I hope this helps you to make your own riding skirt, and please let me know how it worked out for you. And if you would like to share some pictures, that's always possible, for instance in the Facebook group, or just send them to me. I'd like to see what you made for yourself. Thank you very much.